Hello, welcome back to our video class here at CSEC Math Tutor. We are on consumer arithmetic, and our topic for this lesson is hire purchase agreements. We have two objectives. The first is to describe or explain briefly what a hire purchase agreement is and to solve problems involving hire purchase. So let us quickly talk about what we mean by hire purchase. A hire purchase agreement is also known as an installment plan or a never-never. It is an arrangement where a customer decides to acquire an asset by paying down what we call a deposit or an initial installment and repays the balance of that price plus interest over a period of time. The hire purchase agreement was sometimes called the never-never for an important reason. Usually, hire purchase agreements were only made by working class persons or poor persons. That being the case because they would not normally have the cash upfront to acquire assets. That said, once a person got into a hire purchase agreement, it would seem as if the payments would never stop. And so sometimes, way back then, persons tend to call it the never-never. That is, try not to get into it. And if you get into it, well, the payments never seem to stop. As a part of teaching students to be responsible consumers, questions in this topic tend to be framed in the context of reasoning out the difference between hire purchase plans and cash price, and are slanted towards influencing persons to buy cash rather than to go hire purchase. Of course, if you can't go cash and you definitely need the asset, then hire purchase is one way to go. So we have some terms to describe. There is the deposit, which is a portion or a percentage of the asset that you pay initially. Some stores go even without that. They may say nothing down. And an installment is the amount of money that you pay weekly or monthly, depending on the agreement that you make, until the payment is completed. And that is important. The payments have to be made until the payment is completed. If for some reason the payments are stopped, then the company that you make your agreement with has the right to reclaim the asset, whatever the asset is, and to resell it to regain their cost. So let's look at some questions that are related to hire purchase as given on CSEC past papers. Here's one. The cash price of a bicycle is $319.95. It can be bought on hire purchase by making a deposit of $69 and 10 monthly installments of $28.50. So we have a deposit of $69. We have monthly installments of $28.50 each. So we want to find the total hire purchase price of the bicycle. We can do that by saying that the total price is a combination of the deposit plus the installments. And it's a pretty simple workout where we write down our deposit. Our deposit is $69, and then we have 10 installments of $28.50. So multiplying 28.5 by 10, we get 285. And adding that to $69 gives us a hire purchase price of $354. So the second question here says, calculate the difference between the total hire purchase price and the cash price. Now remember, our cash price was $319 or is $319.95, and this is the hire purchase price. So to find the difference, we simply subtract. So $354 minus $319.95 gives us the difference in the prices, and that is $34.05. And the last part of the question, express your answer in part 2 as a percentage of the cash price. Then we simply write the difference, 34.05 over the cash price. The cash price is $319 and times that by 100%, and that gives us 10.64%. Let's look at another one. Here we have the cash price of a laptop is $1,299. It can be bought and hire purchased by making a deposit of $350 and 10 monthly installments of $120 each. So it's a similar question. So to answer the first part, to find the hire purchase price, the total hire purchase price, we go deposit plus installments, which is $350 plus 10 times $120. And that gives us a total of, when you write that in, $1,550. $1,200 plus $350. So we have our total hire purchase price. And the second part of the question wants us to see how much would be saved if the laptop was bought for cash. So if we bought it for cash, it would be $1,299. If we paid on a hire purchase plan, it's $1,550. So we subtract $1,550 minus $1,299, and that gives us a total of $251. So this is the amount of money that would be saved if the laptop was bought cash rather than on the hire purchase plan. Our final question, here we have the cash price of a dining room suite with 6 identical chairs is $880. If the price of the table is $250, then what is the price of each chair? So I probably can relabel this question as A and B. All right, so if the total cost of this set is $880 and the table costs $250, then we can do a subtraction here to see what the total cost of the chairs are. So we have 880 minus 250, and that gives us $630. And since there are 6 chairs, then 630 divided by 6 gives us the price of 1 chair, which is $105. So each chair would cost $105. In working out part B, the dining room suite may be bought and hire purchase for a deposit of $216. So there's our deposit. And monthly payments of $35 for a period of 2 years. Calculate 1, the total hire purchase price. So we are going to write down our deposit plus our installments. So the deposit is $216 plus our monthly payments, excuse me, of $35 times 2 years of months. So that's 2. 12 months make a year, which gives us $216 plus 35 times 24. So it's 24 months make 2 years. And that gives us 216 plus 840, which gives us a total of $1,056. So this is the hire purchase price of the dining room suite. And now the last part of the question says the extra cost of buying on hire purchase as a percentage of the cash price. So to do that, we first need to find what the extra cost is, and the extra cost will be $1,056 minus the cash price, which is $880. So $1,056 minus $880 gives us a total of $176. So this is the extra cost. And now we need to put this extra cost as a percentage of the cash price, which means, let's label them. This is part 1, and this is part 2. So the extra cost as a percentage of the cash price, which is 880 times 100, and We divide that by 100%, multiply that by 100%, and we end up with 22%. So the extra cost of buying on hire purchase as a percentage of the cash price would be 22%. Typically, that's how hire purchase agreements work. Sometimes a question may be tweaked so that you work out the cost paid per month, and generally, this is how they are. So hopefully you'd have gotten a better understanding of what a hire purchase agreement is. Normally, they do cost more. Items that are purchased on hire purchase cost more than other payment plans, and there are reasons for that. So as a responsible consumer, it is your duty to weigh in whether you need the asset or not. And if you need it and you do not have the cash and you can't borrow the cash from somebody, then of course, hire purchase is one method by which you can acquire those assets. Remember, you can go over to csecmathtutor.com to find more practice material. Look in the past paper section, look in the multiple choice practice paper section, or in the paper 2 simulated section. You can find many more questions in there that can guide you, that you can use to practice and develop your skills. Subscribe, share with somebody who's doing the exam, and continue to learn and grow.